I mean, I go between servers all the time. I mean, most people are dedicated to one server.
Yeah.
Really? Most people just go on one server and never leave it for the rest of
Oh,
the.
oh, that was a question. I thought that was a statement.
Oh, yeah, it's a question. So most
Um,
people, like
some
you.
people are.
Mm-hmm.
Some people mostly only show up on specific servers. There are some people specific to my server. They
But
don't
yeah,
go anywhere else.
you have your own server.
Yeah,
What's the name?
called Respect Animals.
Oh, you're a vegan. Wait.
Yeah, it's called Respect Animals. I could tell you the story if you're willing to listen.
Sure. Let me just. I'm simultaneously answering my phone. I mean, texting on my phone. Wait. Let me sign up to your server. 1 second. So, is it like an active server?
Not on voice and video really, though we are
Oh,
working on that. There's a few members who have suddenly got really interested in voice and video, but
so
it's relatively active in text.
one
For some
second.
reason, it's more active when I'm at work. I don't know how that works, but
That's interesting.
yeah. So I go to other servers for company after work because my server is fairly dead during these hours.
Wait. So, in order to find your server, I would like click on plus. No, I guess not. I would do explore. What's the name of your server? Saving
It's called Respect Animals. The
respect.
picture is a woman holding a horse's hoof.
No, no results. Respect animals?
Yeah, you could go to Disboard and search for vegan. I'll bump it so that it's one of your first results.
Discord
Yeah,
org
disboard.org and look for vegan, and Respect Animals should be one of the first results.
search.
Yeah, it's like a
Vegan.
horse's hoof up in the air and a woman
I
holding
see, I
the
see, I
horse's
see.
hoof.
Join
Yeah.
the server. Okay,
Yeah,
accept
I can give
result.
you debater role on there. Clicking the carrot just gives you troll.
Let me check. Oh, so, mm, mhm, mhm. I see. So you're against cruelty to animals? Hmm. So you don't eat vegetables? So, but this banana, they probably used, let's say they used insecticides. So they killed animals. So, so you're paying for animals to be killed.
crop deaths. Most reasonable vegans will freely admit that we do cause crop deaths, including most arthropods. I think the average vegan causes something like 400 animal deaths. I was hearing this statistic last night. I thought it was 2, but that doesn't. 2 animal deaths on average per year doesn't include arthropod deaths. But this other statistic I heard last night was like vegans cause around 400 per year or something like that, including most arthropods. That includes pests like aphids and shit, I think. So I'm still causing something like somewhere between like 2 and 400 animal deaths per year. However, if I wasn't vegan, you could easily multiply those numbers by 16 and then add, 300 to that number. For the average vegan, I wasn't, for the average non-vegan, I wasn't the average non-vegan though. I used to be able to eat 80 animals in one sitting.
80 animals?
Yeah.
What do you mean 80 animals? Like shrimp?
I used to go to this Chinese buffet, and I would just pile the plate full of crawfish, baby octopus, and shrimp because those were the highest dollar things that they had. So my idea was, well, I like eating this stuff, but it's expensive to eat unless I go to this specific Chinese buffet in town where I pay $15 a plate and I can eat three plates of all these animals that are usually pretty expensive. Well, Chinese buffets, they use those dishes as a come on to get people to show up, and they hope that they fill themselves up on the highly battered chicken and rice instead and only have like a little bit of these expensive commodities. But me, that was all I would eat. So I would sit down and eat around 80 animals in one sitting.
Hmm. But when you're eating this banana, you might also have caused the death of 80 animals.
uh Statistically it doesn't work out like that. I mean, yeah, maybe that one banana, but then the rest of the year would statistically average out to only 5 times that on average for the average vegan.
Mm. So, but if I eat one cow a year, so I'm killing by far less animals than you are as a vegan.
If you're eating 1 cow a year, you're fucking starving because that amounts to like 1,200 calories a day or something ridiculous.
All right, 2 cows a year, 3 cows. It's still the numbers are insignificant compared to a vegan's numbers, no?
Well, you have to take into account per calorie you actually are multiplying your cut with cows especially because of feed conversion ratio. You're looking at the feed that you're feeding those cows. Well, you're magnifying your causation of harm still because it's per calorie. It's not per animal. A cow needs a lot of calories, and so they need a fuck ton of land growing feed crops on, which also use insecticides. They also kill things like deer, rabbits, squirrels that are eating the crops. And then they also have combine harvest deaths in the alfalfa fields, grain fields, corn fields, and soy fields that they use to make cattle feed. And so you're still magnifying your causation of harm. You're looking at it too shallow. Like, this is one animal, as if that animal was magicked into existence. No, we have to feed these animals. And the feed conversion ratio is there because animals are not like super efficient at converting calories to meat. They poop, and a lot of that poop is what you're feeding them. And just like humans, a lot of what we eat is just pooped out. Same thing with animals. So cows are the most inefficient livestock, and so they're at a 16 to 22 times feed conversion ratio. So for every 16 to 22 calories you put into the animal, you're getting one out in the form of beef.
Let me ask you though, I mean, what's driving your calculus? How you do all these calculations?
Feed conversion ratio statistics are put out by
No,
animal agriculture
no,
themselves.
no, 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 no. What's driving you? What's driving you in the first place to do the calculation? I don't
Oh,
do I don't do these
people like you,
calculations.
you
Wait, what do you
drive it.
mean?
because you people argue with me, and I look into it, and I look into it and try to discover the truth, because I originally went vegan just with the idea that I'm going to be causing less harm, and then thousands of people show up and challenge me on it, and so day in and day out I have to defend my beliefs, and the best way to do that is with facts that are provable with a source, and one of my sources for these statistics is animal agriculture itself. And so it's undeniable the people who produce these products admit that feed conversion ratio exists. Animals do not exist by magic.
The question is,
And so because I get challenged every day on my lifestyle and people criticize me constantly, I have found all of these facts and figures out so that I can defend myself. That's why I'm motivated to do that. It's not because I believe I didn't immediately jump into researching all of this. It's because everybody argues with me every single day, almost every hour of the day.
That's not the question. The question is, as you said, just by living, you're causing harm.
Yeah.
So if you're not going to kill yourself, then
yeah, I don't want to do that.
Okay, then you just have to face the fact that you're causing harm and just.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I've faced the fact, just like I plainly told you, and I've accepted it, that I'm going to be causing harm. If I choose to keep surviving, I'm going to be causing some amount of harm. What I can do is try to reduce it as much as I practicably and possibly can.
Why?
And that's what I'm trying to do with my life.
Why?
Because I don't think it's okay to go and cause the maximum amount of harm that I possibly can. I mean, if you have to shoot somebody who is invading your house in self-defense, then that's okay. But if you go out and find people who look like they might maybe break into your house someday and mow down 250 of them, that's not okay. It's like I live in a ghetto, right? And it's very well possible any of these people living in tents or sleeping on the street, or even some of these people in these more ghetto apartments by where I live, could potentially, maybe someday, try to break into my house and hurt me so they can take my stuff. But is that reason enough to go fucking mow everybody in my neighborhood down with my AR-15? No, because that would be causation of maximum amount of harm as possible. Now, chilling out, and hell, maybe nobody will ever break into my house and try to hurt me. And so it's good that I didn't go mow everybody down in the first place, right? If somebody intends to cause me harm, though, I will. And that's where it becomes, well, I couldn't eliminate that amount of harm I caused because that person was going to kill me. And in a selfish act of survival, I killed them first because they didn't need to break into my house to try to hurt me.
So you don't kill people nilly-willy?
Yeah, I don't go mow people down.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
I've never pulled my firearm when I didn't need to.
Why not?
Because that circles back to human capacity for empathy. I understand that other sentient beings are not that dissimilar from me, especially humans. They're not very dissimilar from me to the point where I can justify killing them over a thought, over my own arbitrary decision that, hey, maybe that person and that person and that person and that person.
Why not? If you could murder everyone nilly-willy with no repercussions, would you do it?
No.
Why not?
No, I'd rather just leave people alone.
Why?
As far as that goes.
Why?
Because of human capacity for empathy. I understand, just like with the VR hypothetical I was telling you about, and it's not really hypothetical. I've watched people with VR headsets on for the first time, and they're in this simulation where they're like falling and they freak out. Because of my countless experiences with other human beings, they have similar reactions to me to various stimuli. I understand that they feel similar to how I do, and therefore I can empathize. I can put myself in their place because I understand we have this common ground, this similar experience of reality as one another, and therefore, because I wouldn't want to get mowed down with an AR-15 for practically no reason, then I'm like, well, they probably don't either. And so it wouldn't be very nice of me to go do that.
Mm, um, do you see, like, if you were, oh, are you, uh, if you could enforce veganism on humanity, would you do it?
That's tough because, well, yeah, I guess so because it's legally enforced. Homicide, there's laws against homicide. Like I would get punished if I went and mowed down all those people with my
No, no,
AR-15,
no, no, no.
right? And so I'm just extending this to your question. Um, I think it's completely reasonable to have laws against animal abuse.
Okay. If you ran the world, would you change anything in reference to animal rights? Like, would you enforce veganism if you could?
Well, the way leaders are now in the Western world, they're fairly limited. The first thing I would push for is elimination of subsidization of animal products because it's the most heavily subsidized industry as far as food goes.
Okay.
And so I would remove that subsidization, which would kind of financially bring um, other options for protein into the
Let,
limelight.
let me ask you, let's say you start making this modification so that you're starting to implement veganism all over humanity, but then you see people are dying. Like,
Why are they dying?
let's assume people. I mean,
I would try to
um,
understand why they're dying and if the death is preventable, and I would get to the bottom of that and try to fix it.
um,
I don't think people die quickly or at all because of being on a plant-based diet. I've been vegan for 3.5 years or so, and I'm doing pretty good. I'm a tradesman. I'm an electrician, licensed and certified. I'm a foreman on my job site, and I perform work faster than everybody I work with right now. And
mhm.
so they're all non-vegans, and I do just fine. And then I come home and I lift
Okay,
weights
but
after working on my feet
let's
all
say
day with heavy
let,
machinery.
let's say you start implementing veganism and people start uh revolting and
They start revolting.
a civil war is starting and people are, there's a civil war, people are dying.
Yeah.
So would you stop implementing your veganism,
Well,
or would
I
you
mean,
double down?
yeah, that's a good question. The future of our movement is something I think about probably not often enough, but I do think about it often. And one of the possibilities is a civil war breaking out. I think um, vegans, just like all rights movements, just like the civil rights movement and the feminist movement, which the current rendition of I'm not really a big fan of. But the right the push for women to have basic rights that males just got like 50 or 100 years prior to that. Um, uh, those civil rights movements, those rights movements, they're always met with brutality and violence before the movement commits those things. And so I think if a civil war did break out as a result of or because of the vegan movement versus vegans versus non-vegans, I know for sure because it's against vegan ideology to cause unnecessary harm, right? We want to have discussions like this, like I'm having with you, with people way before we consider violence over
Okay, but
anything.
let's say you
So the violent actions would be committed against us first. I'm pretty goddamn certain about that. And
fine,
so it would be a war of defense. The offensive would be against us defending ourselves.
fine. So let's say a war
Yeah, and
breaks
I'm
out.
okay with defending myself.
So, but let's say people are dying and it's a civil war, it's war. People are dying, thousands and thousands every day. So would you let this continue forever, or at one point would you just say no? I mean, would you double down, or would you retract? How would you? Would you fight it to the last man? Let's say humanity will completely die out because of this war. Would you still go through this move, or would you say no, it's not worth it?
Hmm. Yeah, that's a good question. Engaging with your hypothetical previously, I believe it would be a defensive war on the vegan side, and
Yeah,
it would
but
be offensive on the non-vegan
humanity,
side.
it's a
And so I
given.
think I think it's totally fine to like
Humanity will
defend
die.
yourself.
Humanity will die. If you continue, they will continue. It's going to be a complete attrition. Both sides will die. You will die. Everyone will die. Humanity will die. That's a given in this hypothetical.
Um, well, do you think humanity would be causing unnecessary harm to others when they die off after they're dead?
I don't want to give you my opinion. I'm stress
I don't
testing.
think we would be around anymore to cause unnecessary harm.
Wait, if we die out,
Yeah, I
then
don't.
of
If we
course.
stopped existing,
So is that
we
so
wouldn't
you?
be causing unnecessary harm anymore.
Oh, so you don't have a
And
problem with
so
that?
I think, yeah, I think fighting for something good is worth fighting for.
So you're gonna die. So why don't you just?
Yeah,
So
yeah. If
why
I'm
not?
fighting a defensive war and it's
You
either surrender myself to work camp or die. I don't know if I really want to go to a work camp.
but you can stop this war at any time. You can just stop veganism. Just say, okay, I give up. No, you can go back to eating animals, and everything goes back to the current status, to the current state of things. You can stop it, or you can double down until all of humanity is killed to the last man.
Yeah, it's kind of like if all livestock was just instantly killed right now, and then tomorrow the whole world has to go vegan, would I take that? And it's like, well, yeah, that would be the less suffering over time. Just like, I mean, if all humanity perished because people just couldn't let go of their bacon, then fine. It's like,
I
that's
mean,
what you get for being a spoiled little fucking brat, I
wait a
guess.
minute, wait a minute. I mean, people are willing to die in this war.
Over
It's
bacon.
not,
Yeah, it's
it's
stupid.
not, it's not over, I mean, it's not over bacon. It's over, you're being a dictator. So as far as they're concerned, they're fighting for their freedom against a ruthless dictator.
I
So,
don't know. Have you talked to Taryn? You know Taryn, right?
no,
You don't know Taryn?
no.
She would be totally fine being in that position. Me, I don't know if I would be willing to be like an iron fist violent dictator for
Well,
veganism.
So I'm giving you the option. I'm asking you, what would you do? I appointed
If
you.
I had no choice but to be like, it's okay to not be vegan or die, I think I'd rather not say it's okay to not be vegan. I'm never going to tell anybody that it's okay. The only instance where I'm going to say that is in the instance of like Mongolian reindeer herders
No,
that
no, no.
really have no choice. It's like, yeah, it's kind of okay, I guess, that they're exploiting those animals because they have absolutely no other way to survive. But us here in the Western world, I'm never going to tell anybody that's able to go vegan that it's okay that they're not. I'd rather you shoot me in the fucking head, really, because then I would become inconsistent. I would destroy my whole fucking argument,
Hold on.
and I would stop standing by what I believe.
Wait 1 second. I appoint you to run the world. You are the dictator of the world. You implement veganism with an iron fist. Wait, do you implement it with an iron fist or not?
No, I would I would eliminate I would eliminate animal agriculture propaganda. I would eliminate ag gag laws, and I would eliminate animal agriculture subsidization. And all of that put together would significantly drive an expansion of the vegan movement financially, and it would eliminate the fucking propaganda of like happy animals, that look like they're free range and enjoying themselves on fields printed on factory farmed shit. Kind of like they do with smoking, where they post like pictures of black lungs on smoking packs. It's like, okay, you want to use an animal in your logo, use an animal from your farm in your farm setting.
So you're not going to enforce veganism if I let you run the world?
I would I think the vast majority of people, you might be an exception, but I think the vast majority of people are reasonable enough to be reasoned with on this when the power isn't 100% or 98% skewed toward animal agriculture. Because right now there's just endless amounts of propaganda in favor of animal ag, like you, like I was just explained to you, feed conversion ratio. Nobody knows about that. Everybody thinks that crop deaths is a gotcha against vegans. It's like, no, you're magnifying your causation of crop deaths by consuming animal products, and most people don't even know about that because of ag gag laws and non-vegan propaganda. Everybody thinks all the animals are all happy and shit and exist by magic. That's not reality. And I'm being facetious when I say that. I'm really blowing it out of proportion and saying ridiculous. I'm stating it how it is, but making sure it sounds ridiculous as fuck because it is. How
Wait a
how
minute.
uneducated people are on this.
Wait one
I think we
second.
should educate people, stop funding animal agriculture with taxpayer money to keep the products synthetically low in price so people keep consuming them. And I think we should eliminate ag gag laws and pro animal ag propaganda.
Um, okay, so I appoint you to be dictator, sole dictator of the world. So, and let's say you do your steps, but it doesn't impact veganism.
It would.
Well, let's assume in this hypothetical it doesn't.
Uh, it's so hard for me to engage with hypotheticals that I'm 100% certain would never be reality. Just like
Okay,
the desert island with one cow stranded shit. It's like, well, this is so hard to engage with because what I'm just on a island full of sand with just a cow. I guess I'm gonna die of thirst because there's no fucking water. I mean, this is a
wait,
stupid hypothetical.
wait 1 second. So, um, I mean, I am a very knowledgeable person. I don't listen to propaganda. I know I've seen videos of farms, both industrial and like family, and I honestly, I just go to Costco and I buy free roaming or whatever
Why would you
meat.
do that if you don't care about the animals as sentient beings? It washes you of some kind of guilt, doesn't it? If you buy free range
I wouldn't say
versus factory farmed.
it has anything to do with guilt. I wouldn't I usually
Do you have the misconception that it's healthier for you?
um w-
It's the same chicken. It's just they're not kept in cages, and they're kept in barns with a 10,000 chickens in each barn still.
well,
And
I've seen videos on YouTube of family farms, and the cows seem to be very happy, extremely happy.
yeah,
As happy as your household cat or dog.
yeah, but I'm not. I mean, Klaus is beyond slaughter age anyway, but I care about him as a sentient being, and I acknowledge that robbing him of this existence wouldn't be in his best interest if I wanted to eat dog meat. So I don't see him as an edible product. So I didn't slaughter him at the age of, you know, however old it is for dogs, 8 months, 12 months when he was fully grown. Um, I think that's the worst time of their life is when they're getting slaughtered. I can what I do is I put myself in the animal's position a lot of the time, right? Because of that human capacity for empathy. I can realize that these animals, in some situations, they react similar to me, like in fear and stuff. And so I can realize that at least some of their experience of reality is similar to mine. And so I can put myself in their position. Well, let's say I was born to a rich family. Uh, my dad took me on time to violin lessons every fucking week, and I was an A+ student and happy about it. I wasn't even pushed. I was just like such a well-adjusted fucking kid. And then my parents slashed my throat at the age of 16 because they liked the taste of human flesh. Well, it kind of ruins everything. It doesn't matter that they gave me such a good life because they gave me such a good life to wash themselves of the guilt of eventually killing me, or
No,
they
no,
gave me such a good life because they thought that my flesh would be healthier for them if they do that. And so the amount of caring for me is completely eliminated when they're like, "Oh, we're gonna slash your throat now, sonny boy."
no, no, no.
Thanks for letting me talk so much. By the way, I went on that one.
It's my fault. It's because I'm texting on the phone. So, so the more you speak, the better. But I think I'm done with the texting, so I can finally respond. No, no, I already told you. It has nothing to do with guilt. I don't buy the food that I buy because of guilt. I'm an egoist, so I only care about myself.
So you
So
believe free range is healthier for you?
yeah, yeah, that's my impression.
That's why you purchase free range rather than caged
Yeah,
broiler chickens?
I don't eat
Because it.
chicken at all. I think chicken is disgusting. I only eat cows
Oh, okay.
and fish. I eat tuna, sardines, salmon,
I don't know about
beef.
where you live,
Hmm.
but in Australia and the US, they can have like I think 50 cows per acre and still call it free range. That's pretty much the cattle density. It's just a little less dense than a fucking feedlot. It doesn't change. They're still living in their own shit, and they're still not necessarily eating grass off the ground. They're still most free range cows because they live in such high density on these tracts of land. Um, they're they're brought pellets, grass pellets from alfalfa fields. They're still brought grains and soy, legumes, fucking corn. in order to fatten them up for slaughter weight, they're still brought all the same shit. It's just there's fewer cows per land, but it's not much different than a feedlot. They're still living in their own shit. 50 cows on 1 acre, that's a lot of cows on such a small piece of land. And
Uh,
that's the guidelines for the US and Australia for free range beef. It's the same thing, same type of cows, almost the same settings. So
um,
it doesn't matter for your health.
um,
Free range also doesn't eliminate the possibility that they're injecting them with growth hormones. Here, they can inject them with growth hormones, all kinds of shit, up until like I think 48 days before slaughter, not even 2 months. They get injected with B12. Their cobalt is thrown into the fields so that they can get even more B12. Um,
okay.
and that's why beef is pretty much a fortified food. That's where people get their B12. There's B12 in the flesh because the cows are given B12 instead of just taking the supplements directly. We're eating it out of their flesh.
Okay, okay. I mean, um, I sort of trust the FDA and and that stuff, sort of. Not obviously. I'm anti-government, so I don't trust. But uh, I haven't heard there's issues with that. I mean, I eat free range because I think it benefits me, and if I could find better quality meat, then I would choose that. I feel that the more an animal has a good life, the better the quality of the meat, the healthier it is, less diseases and stuff. If the more space it has, so the less congested, so there's just less chance of viruses and bacteria and stuff. So they don't need antibacteria and they don't need medication. So that's the consideration. It's not because of guilt. I don't use the word guilt in my life. I don't have guilt.
Yeah, but every point I just delivered pretty much is to say that health wise, it's just about the same as factory farmed feedlot cattle because they're kept at almost the same density. It's similar. 50 cows in an acre. I don't know if you know how big an acre is, but 50 cows, that's a lot of cows on 1 acre, man.
I've
And
seen,
and
I've
and
seen,
the
I've, s-
title free range doesn't mean we didn't inject these cows with anything. It doesn't
yeah,
mean we made sure this cow didn't have a leg infection before slaughtering them or anything like
sure,
that.
sure. But I've seen YouTube videos enough to be impressed that it's much cleaner when they are free roaming. It's higher quality meat. That's my impression.
That's the
Um,
impression, but I don't think there's really any difference. Free range also doesn't mean they weren't, got loaded with grains in order to help them reach slaughter weight faster. Just like grass fed and grass finished are two different things. I forget which one is which, but one of them just means they were fed grass for the last like 30 days of their life or something. Other than that, they were pumped full of grains, just like free range cattle or feedlot cattle. I think it's grass finished because I remember it being counterintuitive. I think it's grass finished where they're fed grass all their lives. I could be wrong. And I think it's grass fed as they were just fed grass the last like
Look,
30 or 60 days of their
okay, okay,
life.
but the point is that there's no guilt. Like, second,
Yeah. One of your points, though, was that you're very well educated on this subject. And I'm begging to differ because I don't think there is really a health difference between free range. And that's just the point I'm driving is that I'm questioning how educated you are on the matter. Because like free range cows, like I said, there's still a fuck ton of cows on 1 acre.
I've
50
seen
cows, that's a lot.
I have seen videos. It looks like the cows are well kept. They're clean. They're cute. I didn't smell, but it didn't like the farmer that was talking. He said that they don't smell, that they smell good, and he was kissing, and you could tell he really loves the cows, and the cows love him, and they love
Oh
each
yeah, I
other.
love my wife. That's why I hired a hitman to kill her. Now I'm not married.
Um, look, um, I mean, we bring these animals. It's not even that. I mean, even if I were in the wild, like, okay, let's say you're in the wild, you're in the forest. Would you go hunting for animals?
If I was in a survival situation,
Yeah.
I go backpacking. I go backpacking and I go on many mile hikes on weekends with one of my dogs.
No,
And
let's say
and I
you're
don't hurt anybody as best I can. I might step on some ants, but I try not to.
let's say you decide to go live in the wilderness.
Uh-huh.
You still remain a vegan?
I if I was to make that decision, and that sounds like an awesome life. And I aspire to eventually someday reach that point. Um I haven't looked into it seriously because I'm not at a financial point where I can pull it off. But I have looked into the different growing areas of the US and where would work better. And I've looked into prices of land that have water on them, like ponds and streams,
Let,
so that I could potentially grow my own food
let me ask
and
you.
not livestock.
Okay, okay. Let me ask you a question. So let's say you have a cow pet, and she gives birth, and she's breastfeeding her calf, and then it weans. Weans is the word that it finishes. It stops breastfeeding.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Then it weans. Now her uterines. What do you call her? Like titties?
Uh
Uterines?
Udders.
Udders. And then
Yeah,
her
her udders.
udders are like ready to explode, and she's, from what I know from women, it's painful, and she needs the calf to breastfeed, but the calf doesn't want anymore. It's all grown up. So you can purchase a machine that will breastfeed mechanically, and she can just walk up to that machine whenever she wants, and the machine will relieve her of the pressure and will fill up a container with her milk. So you just put the machine there. You don't force her to do anything. You didn't force her. She's your pet cow. The calf is your pet calf. Everyone is happy. But
Yeah.
the cow now decides of its own volition to go to the machine to relieve the pressure.
So this hypothetical, I already have multiple issues with the plausibility of it happening.
Hmm.
My first issue is that if I have a pet cow, as you call them, my friends own an animal sanctuary where they have cows that they rescued from animal agriculture, and they don't get pregnant because they are the guardians of these animals, and it's not in their best interest to get pregnant. It's not in the best interest of that species as a whole for more of them to exist, because by having a baby, then you got to take care of that baby when they reach adulthood for the next 25 years or so. And that robs other cows of the ability to get rescued, right? Just like it's immoral to breed dogs. Neither of my dogs have ever bred, and I don't let them because it's not in the best interest of the species as a whole, because they're gassing dogs to death right now. And it's in the best interest of dogs as a whole for me to go adopt a dog rather than breed more into existence. So first of all, if that wouldn't happen, my cow would not get pregnant. I would make sure of it.
How would you make
S-
sure?
Secondly,
Wait,
I wouldn't
how?
be containing the milk.
Wait, how would you
The
make
way I
sure?
would make sure,
Wait,
well,
yeah.
if I have just a cow on my property, she's not going to get pregnant. Like, a tree can't fuck her and get her pregnant, right?
Wait.
You need a bull.
So let's say you have a pet bull, a pet cow, and the bull and the cow, they enjoy each other's company and they have consensual sex. So that's how
Well, if
they
they
have.
had consensual sex, um, that would mean I'm not separating them. Which, if they weren't fixed, I would want to separate them. But it would be, once again, in the species' best interest for me to have one of them spayed or neutered, just like dogs. Just like my female dog came spayed when I adopted her. She was already spayed, and so I don't feel a need to neuter my male dog
So you're gonna
because
s-
they can't procreate.
wait, you're gonna perform a surgery on her?
Yeah, it's against their will, but it's in their best interest because
Would you do that to a
because
human?
pregnancies tax
Wait,
especially domestic
would you
animals a lot.
would you do that to a human? To a woman? Would you unconsensually neuter
Well,
her?
we're not gassing humans to death because they're overpopulated. So it's not
Wait,
necessarily in the best
wait.
interest of the human race to start fixing people. We don't have, like, shelters for humans because we're getting overpopulated. Where, once in a while we round some up and gas them to death to control population.
Um, okay. Okay, but let's say she got pregnant.
Okay. Yeah, let's assume she got pregnant and somehow, I don't know, maybe it was some crazy accident, or maybe I'm being irresponsible, and she gets pregnant. Then she has her calf weans, stops consuming her milk, but her udders are getting really uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I would even provide her with a machine. I would probably just, help alleviate her into the ground, just like I would pull a bandana out of my dog's ass after he eats it, because sometimes he likes eating my bandanas, and I watch him and I make
Wait.
sure he
Okay.
doesn't have trouble shitting because
So
he's an asshole and eats my
wait,
bandanas
wait.
like
So
like
you
this.
would okay, wait. So you would relieve her of the pressure. You
Yeah.
realize that as long as you relieve her of the pressure, the udders are gonna refill forever.
Oh, okay. Well, then I wouldn't.
Oh, okay.
I don't have a cow, so I haven't done my research on this.
Well,
But
this is
then I wouldn't. Then she
actually
needs to get over it, just like a human, like you said. Then she needs to deal with it because that's part of the life cycle, right?
why? Why not provide
Because
her
that's
with
part of reproduction.
a machine mechanically
And subject her
breastfeed?
to experience that discomfort for the rest of her life,
It's up,
potentially,
it's up to her.
or or allow her
It's up to her.
to just get over it over the course of a few months.
It's up to her. Leave.
I
Why
think it
not
would be in her
leave?
best interest. Just
Why?
like you won't let your kid go shoot heroin, right? Just because they want to. You're not going to go let your kid get a syringe and start shooting heroin from the dealer down the block,
How
because
is?
it's not in their best interest. They
Well,
want to.
let's assume that there's no negative impact. That as long as she keeps producing milk, there's no negative impact on her.
But we're starting to venture outside of any sort of reality at this
Yeah.
point with the
So,
hypothetical.
yeah. Yeah. We're almost there. I'm almost.
If production of animal products didn't inherently cause harm and suffering to animals, then I wouldn't have a problem with consuming them. But it does.
Wait, hold on, hold on,
That's
hold on.
reality.
Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. So you
Is
would
that the point we're arriving
wait,
to?
yeah, so you concede that you would drink the milk.
Okay, like I said, I wouldn't have anything against animal products if animal products didn't inherently and by definition cause the suffering and harm against animals. But it does. And so that's why I have a problem with it.
Wait a minute, but in the scenario we created, where's the harm?
In the scenario we created that will never, ever be reality, ever, in
I mean,
this universe,
what do you mean? This, what
then there wouldn't be harm.
no. What I described to you is the YouTube videos. You can go on YouTube right now and watch farms. This is exactly how it
No,
works.
that's not exactly how it works. That is not exactly how dairy works. There
So,
is immense suffering in dairy.
I watched videos. So you're telling me my eyes are deceiving me?
You, yeah, you're probably watching propaganda, and that's the type of shit that I would put down if I was dictator. I would put down shit where farmers show, oh look, we let the baby stay with the mom, and we don't sell the milk during that time. Like that makes any financial sense. And then when the baby is done weaning, then we take the female and allow her to figure out how this fucking machine works. We don't coerce her at all. And then it causes her absolutely no harm ever to get sucked on by a machine. She doesn't get abrasions or infections. That's all bullshit. That's not reality.
Look,
That's a child's story.
look, there's YouTube videos. You can watch these YouTube videos.
You're watching children's stories,
Wait,
fairy tales.
Wait, do you want me to find you a YouTube video?
Yeah, you can show me a farmer showing the not reality of their farm,
So you,
but I know how it works. Most dairy, they artificially inseminate the female, and that requires sexually violating her. And then it requires sexually violating the bull too. And then they take the baby away because it's not in their best financial interest to let the baby drink all the fucking milk they want to sell. That doesn't make any economic sense at all. That should be obvious to you that it's a fairy tale that they allow the babies to stay with the moms, especially the males. Because they don't need, it's a 50-50, just like humans, males to females when they're born. What the fuck? How come there aren't bulls all over the place, just like female dairy cows? Because they're taken away from their mother and slaughtered. Because they're not going to benefit the industry. You can impregnate 100 cows with one bull. You can impregnate 10 cows with one bull naturally. And fucking, so where are all the fucking male calves? You know, where are all the bulls at? They all get killed. And then it makes the most financial sense because it's a product. It's a business. It's nothing personal. But that's how business works. You can't just, oh, I'm gonna make like 25% as much profit, or maybe not even that because feed is fucking expensive. And just so I can feel good about this, dude, if they did it that way, milk would be 4, 10, 20 times the price per gallon it is right now. Nobody would be fucking buying it because it'd be so expensive. You're listening to a fairy tale.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to paste a link. That's not. I don't think that's good. Let me try.
Oh, by the
again.
way, Vega said they might be able to join in 30 to 60 minutes. Do you know them?
Yeah, Vega. Yeah, Vega and me have been debating the whole last couple of days like crazy.
That's cool.
Yeah, okay. I found the link. Let me paste the link. So here is the link. Okay. Are you playing it?
Hey, I'm looking for the part with the cows. is he doing? Putting out electric fencing?
I didn't watch it. This is not.
Looks like he's putting out an electric perimeter. Well, the reason. Okay, I'm under the impression that the reason why you posted this is to prove to me that nobody's harmed in dairy.
No.
This is the arguing point here. This is the point we're arguing about. If this video doesn't have anything about dairy and how to produce it, then this isn't even a fucking valid source. You understand what I'm saying?
Good night.
You're saying
You can't just show me like chickens and ducks and stuff and be like dairy is fine. 'Cause that has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, this is
Morning,
not,
large white farm dog.
this is not the video that I was
Hi,
looking
sit.
Yeah.
Sit. Behave yourself. Behave yourself. You have a patient. I know you're excited to see me. It's a good brand new day. We got so much farming to do. Come on, Come on, Toby. Inside. Let's go. Come on.
Are you watching it?
Yeah, the only part with cows in it, he's putting
Morning,
it looks
chickens.
like an electric perimeter up. That's it. There's longhorn cows in a field, and he's putting an electric perimeter up. It doesn't show anything about. Oh, it doesn't even say they're using them for dairy. I don't know. Maybe those
Yeah.
are beef cows. I don't know. It doesn't fucking say anything. Beef cows. The calves are left with the mother because the natural milk from the mother actually gives the calves good autoimmune capabilities. It helps them health-wise, so it makes financial sense to keep calves with their mothers in the beef industry because it increases their rate of survival, the babies. So that makes financial sense completely, but that is not in the dairy industry. They're growing those cows for beef. They're not exploiting them for their milk. When you're exploiting a mother cow for her milk, you don't want the baby to drink for all those months, all those gallons and gallons of milk you could otherwise be selling, especially if it's a male calf you're going to kill later anyway.
Let me ask you. So you see these animals.
Are we going to move away from the point because you don't have a source to prove your fairy tale reality? Is that what we're doing? We're moving on from the point? Because I always see that as a concession.
What do you mean?
Are we moving away from the idea that dairy can be done in an absolutely no harm way, like ahimsa, which I think is also a lie? Because they sell off the cows and believe that oh, these cows are going to a good home. No, they're bought for fucking beef. You gave me this hypothetical, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where we can produce dairy from this one cow, and I don't know what happens to the calf when they reach adulthood or when they're done weaning or whatever, and without coercion or anything, get her to indefinitely produce milk at no detriment to her health. And I told you that's not reality. You're telling me it is. You posted this link during that discussion, and I was under the impression this is proof that that is actually reality. But you're not willing to address that point anymore. It sounds like you're wanting to move on to, but look how happy the cows are. That's not the subject. The subject is the idea that your hypothetical is in fact reality, where we can get a female cow to give birth and without coercion whatsoever, get her to produce milk indefinitely at no detriment to her health or wellness. Now, if you want to move on from the point, that's fine, but I want to take that as a concession because at that point, you're pretty much admitting that you have nothing to back your stance.
What stance?
Your stance, that hypothetical is in fact reality. I told you it's not reality. It doesn't happen in this universe.
Amanda, hug and kiss. Amanda, hug and kiss.
And you said
I need Amanda, hug and
that
kiss.
it is reality. There is somewhere in the world where there's a farm that farms cows for dairy, and they get their cows pregnant somehow without harming them, and then they allow the babies to stay with their moms until they wean, and then they begin harvesting the milk from the mother through no means of coercion, and indefinitely for the rest of her life without impregnating her again. They continue to harvest the milk from her at no detriment to her health whatsoever. You told me that's reality. I asked you,
Shame.
or
Shame. Shame.
I'm under the impression you're going to try to prove to me that it's reality. Because I say it's not, you say it is. And you were telling me that you have videos of it. Then you posted this video that has nothing to do with dairy. So are you conceding? Is that what's going on?
Am I conceding?
Yeah, is this a concession because you want to move on from the point after disagreeing with me? I still disagree that that's reality. You say it's reality, that there is some farm somewhere that does this, and you have videos. I want to see the videos.
Oh,
If you can't show me videos, then because that's just how dairy works. The way I put it is just how dairy works. The way you put it is a fantasy world lie. And you want to tell me it's reality. I don't think it is. But you said you have video footage to prove it. All I see is a guy putting up an electric perimeter in a field where there's cows. That's it. Nothing about dairy.
Right. Okay, I mean, you want me to concede that I don't have the video. I cannot find.
I want you to concede that it's actually not reality. That hypothetical that you posed is actually not real. And it can't be.
Oh,
And it won't exist.
wait, so you're saying that I'm lying? Right.
Yeah, I think you're full of shit.
Wait,
I told you, you're living in a fairy world. You're listening to children's stories and believing them. And you're saying no.
wait, you think I'm lying?
Yeah,
I'm saying,
I think you're full of crap.
wait, I'm saying that I saw a video and I can't find it. I think I saw it on Facebook. And
Yeah, well, while you were saying that, you posted this link to a video that has nothing to do with the argument.
yeah.
And so I was under the impression when I opened this that this has something to do with the argument, but it doesn't.
Let's assume
The whole discussion was
Mhm.
whether or not that's reality. And you said, oh, let me post this link. And this
Mhm.
doesn't have anything to do with it, man. This is mostly ducks and chickens. And then
Mhm.
there's one scene where he's putting up an electric perimeter for, I'm pretty sure those are beef cows.
Mhm.
And like I said, it is in financial best interest of farmers to keep their beef cows with their calves because they're not selling the milk. And it boosts the cow's immune system to drink their mother's milk. And so it increases the likelihood they won't have damage and breakage in their product, which is the cows. So it reduces how many baby cows die. And so that increases their profits because they're not losing as much of their product. Like broken bottles in a alcohol warehouse. Everybody wants to reduce how many bottles break in an alcohol warehouse because that impacts their profits when the bottles break. Same thing with cows. When beef calves die, that impacts their future profits. They don't want them to die, so they let them stay with the mothers and drink the milk. I'm pretty sure these are beef cows. And yeah, it's in their best interest to keep the calves with the cows, so that they can continue to drink the milk, because the milk is not the product, it's the beef.
So you want me to concede that I cannot find a video that I think I saw on Facebook, and I'm looking now on YouTube, so I cannot.
Yeah, your claim is that somewhere in the world, somebody is running a dairy operation where calves are kept with their mothers until they're done weaning, and then the cows are then able to figure out how a machine works through no coercion to milk themselves, to relieve themselves of their udders being painful from having too much milk and the calves not drinking it. And in addition to that, the rest of the claim was that you can have them do this for the duration of their life without harming them or having it be a detriment to their health.
Okay, but let's assume wait, you said you wanted a concession? So I'm explaining to
Yeah,
you.
if you want to move on from this subject, your claim was that that is reality somewhere. I disagree.
No, my
And
claim.
so if you
No.
can't tell me how or why, when, where this is fucking true, and you want to
No.
just link me videos of ducks and chickens, and you want to move on from the subject, then I take it as a concession. You don't even have to say it. I'll just take it as a concession.
Look, all I'm saying is that I saw a video and I don't have access to the video now. So
You saw a video that you believed represented the hypothetical that you were pushing in reality.
all I'm
You
telling
believe
you,
that it illustrated that hypothetical as being reality, right?
I'm not saying anything about reality. I'm just saying I saw a video of a farm and I told you everything I told you, that the farmer explained and he showed the cows and the cows seemed
I've seen
happy. Hmm.
I've seen lots of videos of cows that seem happy and
Hmm.
cows walking themselves to the milking thing.
Okay, so what's the issue?
The
So
issue is you're only seeing that snippet, what the farmer wants you to see.
I've seen I've seen
What
hours
what you're
probably. I saw.
what you're not seeing is the fact that the calves were taken away from the mother and they need to
Uh,
be milked.
I don't think
Otherwise
so.
otherwise they'll get udder infections and stuff, and they do anyway with those machines. Those machines are not good for them. They do cause abrasions and
Let's see.
infections.
Okay, but look.
And so
So
that totally destroys your fucking hypothetical as being reality.
no. Okay. Let's just take the. Okay, let me ask you. Let's say you, right? This is where we started. So let's say you have this cow and she's pregnant. She gives birth, and she, of her own volition, wants to go to this machine that you placed or somebody placed.
Yeah,
This
I
machine.
understood the hypothetical. I've
Let me
reiterated it
let
multiple
me
times.
let me just add something. So let's say it's a given that the machine is filling up with milk.
Uh-huh.
Would you drink that milk?
No, I don't see a point. But
Wait, what?
this is the point where I said I wouldn't anyway. Why not just
You,
compost it or some shit?
wait, just
And
answer.
why would you provide this machine to allow her to
No, no,
experience that suffering every day for the
no,
rest of
no,
her life? That
no,
just is ridiculous.
no. It's a given. It's a given. You
It's a given I decide to torture this cow every day by
no,
forcing her
no,
by
no,
allowing her to make the choice, just
no,
like letting a 5-year-old shoot heroin
no,
or smoke
no,
cigarettes.
no. A
Yeah, because
given.
they have the mental capacity of like a toddler. And
No.
so
Listen.
allowing them to do things that aren't in their best interest and don't benefit them and could harm them is the same thing as letting a 5-year-old smoke cigarettes. Do you want these? Yes or no, sonny boy? I know you're 5. Oh, yes, you want them? Okay, here you go. It's like, dude, who the fuck does that? Who's responsible? I'm supposed to, this cow is my pet, right? I'm supposed to have her best interest in my mind. First of all, letting her get pregnant isn't in her best interest. Second of all, giving her this machine that would allow her to experience the discomfort of her udders getting swollen daily, allowing her to experience that daily for a temporary relief of the pain rather than allowing her to go through, I don't know, a month or two of discomfort. and then be fine for the rest of her life. Allowing her to do that, that's irresponsible. I'm supposed to be the guardian of this animal.
No,
I
no,
don't let
listen.
these dogs do things that harm them. Like, I try not to let little dude eat my bandanas. It's not in his
Mm,
best interest. He wants to eat them. I'm not going to let him,
mm,
because
okay.
I don't want that to get caught in his stomach. He doesn't
I
know any better. I do,
mm,
and I'm his
okay,
guardian.
got it. All right, listen. Uh, we've been talking for like over an hour, and I need to go
It's been
kill my.
fun.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But there comes a time when I have to go kill myself.
Well, don't do it in reality. Maybe just
You want to take away the fun from me? No, I need to do it.
teach his own, long as you're not harming anyone other than
Exactly.
yourself.
Exactly.
That's why I vape.
Right. Okay, man. I'm gonna go now. Thank you so much for the company.
Thank you too. It was fun.
Yeah, for sure. Bye.
Peace, man.
All right. Okay, that was very interesting. Okay, everyone. I'm gonna go. It's late already. I have to go to sleep soon. Have a great rest of your life. Bye bye.